Welcome guys back to Made in Liberia. This is Micah. Today my topic going to be about effective communication in a healthy relationship. Okay? So as we continue this topic, first thing I want to say is there's always a way to communicate in a relationship. Everyone might have their own unique way to communicate. So whatever I'm about to go over here is not a gold standard of how to communicate in a relationship. These are just ways to apply different element to your situation to make your communication more effective than the way you currently communicate it. You might just be doing some of these things. Some people naturally good at communication because of their family background. Maybe within the family they were more vocal. It was okay. They was given the authority to express themselves when they was younger, so they don't struggle with communication. Right, like whatever the innermost feeling is, they know how to express that, and they also have empathy for the partner because when they're growing up, the family or the parent or the significant others or whoever the guardian was were able to effectively show love and care for them. So they grow up being able to be effective, but everyone did not grow up in the same environment and same setting. So let's get into the topic. Effective communication is the backbone of a healthy relationship, and I'll be going over 8 key elements to have an effective communication in a healthy relationship. So the number one thing I'm going to be going over is active listening. Number one. Number two would be expressing yourself honestly and kindly to your partners, being open and vulnerable. That's number three. Number four, we'll be talking about nonverbal communication. And then number five, we're going to be talking about timing, how timing matters in a communication aspect. And then we're going to be talking about respect and empathy. And then we're going to also be talking about conflict resolution method that you can establish in your relationship so that you can be able to effectively resolve conflict. And then we're going to be talking about regular check-in. You got to regularly check in with yourself and your innermost feeling to understand why you feel the way you feel so that you don't blame it or so that you don't react aggressively to your partners. Okay? So let's get into it. Active listening in a relationship. You have to give a full attention when your partners is speaking. So you got to know when it's to listen and when it's to speak, right? And one of the things we also got to look at is when we were created as a human being, the Most High gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that's an indication to you that you must listen more than you speak. So in a relationship, we have to give full attention to our partners when they are speaking so that they can feel heard. Okay? And then another thing, we have to avoid interruption. Like whenever your partner is making a point, I know sometimes we have that eagerness to express how we feel. So we want to speak and jump and insist. The best things to do is do not interrupt your partner when they are speaking. And then finally, when it comes to active listening, we have to show understanding by nodding, summarizing whatever your partner just said to you so that you can assure them that you are listening to them. And then you have to either reflect back what they say. So you got to be able to say, okay, I hear what you said, and this is what you said. And is this what you mean by what you said? So you communicate like that to show them that you're listening, number one. And number two, you understand effectively what they say. And then number two on this list will be expressing yourself honestly, not being able to manipulate your way just because you want your partner to feel some type of way. So you're not being honest to them. You have to be honest to them so that they can understand the pain and the suffering that you're going through. So use words like use a I statement. I feel you, or instead of you always be clear and specific about your needs. Whatever your needs are, make it clear. Put it on the table. Let them know this is my need. And then you have to set effective boundaries. Like if you do this to me, I don't like it. I don't want you doing that. And when we're having a conversation, you got to keep this out of the conversation because this is a trigger for me. So if you want us to live in a healthy relationship, communicate effectively, here are my boundaries. And your partners have to respect that, and you have to respect the boundary that your partner set. Another thing, you got to avoid judgment. Don't be so judgmental. This is life. People make mistakes, you know, people do things that they shouldn't have done, but don't judge them on that, right? Hold them accountable for what they do, but don't be so judgmental. Number three, be open and vulnerable. Share your thoughts and your emotions openly, right? Don't hide and be telling your friends how you hit your significant others, right? Bring that to the table, right? Let them know how you feel. Open up. Create a safe space. Both create a safe space in your relationship, right? Where are you gonna go? Is it to your friend's house? Is it space within your home? Is it in the basement, or is it just walking out and taking a break from the conversation? I struggle with stuff like that. I struggle with walking away, because if somebody says something I know it's not true, I want to prove that it's not true. I want to explain that it's not true, and those are some of the struggle that I have. But you can learn from my errors so that you don't have to repeat what I go through, so that you don't have to suffer the way I suffer in my relationship, right? And then number four on this is non-verbal communication. Not share, but pay attention to your tone of voice, right? Pay attention to your tone of voice, because your tone of voice is an indication of how you're feeling within yourself, right? Facial expression, body languages, all of those things matter in a relationship, because people read your body language and they start to assume and process things and define things in their head based on their tone of voice, the body language, right? So you got to pay attention to the thing. Make eye contact, use gesture that show you care, and you have to stay engaged, right? Number five on my list is timing matters. You know, you have to be very smart when you're bringing things to the table, when you're bringing your concern and your grievances. You got to know the timing and when to do that. Other time is very terrible to do that, and you create problems, right? So you got to pay attention to your timing, right? Number six on my list, you have to show respect and empathy towards your partner, right? What do I mean by that? Respect each other' perspective, even when you disagree. Your perspective won't be the same. You're from different homes, different culture, background, different upbringing. So your perspective will never be the same, right? Try to see things from your partner point of view, right? Empathy. Be able to look at why they feel the way they feel. Why are they being affected by what I said? Be able to see that from the perspective. That way, that you're going to build that trust, within your relationship. And then number seven on my list is conflict resolution. Stay calm and focus on the issue, not the person, right? Whatever issue that is arise, that's what the focus should be. You shouldn't add and try to bring in old stuff that happened in the past, which basically just going to elevate the problem and make it bigger than what it really is, right? So stick to that. Work together towards solution rather than trying to win the argument. A lot of times people want to win an argument because they want to prove a point. And then last but not the least, you have to have regular check-in. What do I mean by regular check-in? Make time to talk about your relationship regularly. Ask how the other person is feeling, what is going well, and what they needs to do to improve. So you have to have this active communication, okay? So this is all I have for today. I hope you can go back and replay this and try to go over some of these elements, and you can add it to your relationship so that you can struggle like I struggle in my relationship. Now I have to come and learn how to be an effective communication, how to be a leader, how to be a mature person. But if you have this perspective now, you don't have to struggle the way I struggle. And again, I just want to say thanks to all of our existing subscribers. And if you're new to this channel, just hit that notification button so that when we release any video like this one, so that you can be notified.